Welcome to Beyond the Field. My name is Andrew Layton, and we back with a new co-host. And I still got my old co-host. We got Jason Christian in the building. Coach Mike Patterson, Mr. Switch Your Hat Game. He cold hard faking the Georgia Bulldog. He just had on a Philly Flyer hat. Then as soon as we put on the show, he want to go to Georgia Bulldog. And then we got my dog Johnson Marseille Triple Black BLACK in the building. We done been here before, and glad to have my brother back on. He reached out to us, and I was so happy. I would just need one more white chocolate OG, and then I think we'll be all right. So today's topic is pretty dope, and I got to give all the credit to Jason for coming up with this topic because we're in a space right now where we're trying to make sure every step of the way our show is benefiting the youth that's coming up next and educating the parents and sometimes administration, or whoever this information can benefit. That's what we're trying to do. Having a situation where this
Go get
guy,
my keys.
oh Lord Jesus,
It's in the
hit your Mike Johnson if you're gonna be talking, because I know Frankie in the background. See this triple B BLACK. There you go, cold hard faking again. But we want to make this show where, you know what I'm saying, we can give you guys valuable information. In the topic this week, freedom. And freedom comes at a cost. Freedom comes in different forms. And it actually was very interesting when I did the definition in Chat GBT, because y'all know Chat GBT is my best friend now. Coach Mike, you already know.
I already know. Already.
So if you ain't up on it, get up on it. But freedom. And but before we jump into the topic, man, Coach Mike had a great thing that he said we need to do. So I'm gonna let my dog speak because we gonna go ahead and do this 1 minute. His aim. So Coach Mike, go ahead, talk to me.
All right, so we're gonna call this segment of the show the 1 minute rant. And so my 1 minute rant this week, I was gonna talk about something else, but I'm gonna wait till next week to really jump on that one. But man, hey man, shout out to uh, Travis Hunter, man. For winning the Heisman last night and doing something that people said it can't be done, man. And his mom got on there, man, and she said it perfectly, man. Like, people will doubt what you can do, but if you stay true to God, keep God first, and believe in yourself, and then put in the work, and then everything else will take care of itself, man. So shout out to him, shout out to Coach Prime, shout out to Coach Chaney and the rest of the staff, man. Jackson State, shout out to them for winning yesterday. So that's my 1 minute rant. It's not really a rant, it's more of a celebration. But next week, I'm gonna be on something else.
Okay, we'll figure that out when we get there. All right, Jason, your 1 minute rant. What we got?
Hey man, I want to build off of what Coach Mike was just saying about Travis. So what had really impressed me was his thank you speech, how he was going through saying thank you to everybody that was involved with him. And it really showed a really high level of gratitude, discipline too, because he said that he doesn't listen to music and he's young.
Yeah, and then he be doing all that dancing.
And he's doing his thing, but he really remembered those that helped him out through different points and different times in his life. So I felt like his thank you was true, it was genuine, and that really impressed me. And that's going to lead me to say thank you to you and Coach Mike, and I'm gonna say thank you to Travis Taylor. All right,
Taylor the diesel.
Yeah, because he's the one that brought me to meet y'all. I didn't know what I was getting into. This whole podcast thing, this is all new to me, but all that I knew was that I had wanted to work with youth again. So I want to say thank y'all to y'all. And John, it's really, really nice to meet you. And this is dope.
Okay. Now, Johnson, it's your 1 minute rant. Triple B, LACK. Keep it PG-13 because we don't need you.
My 1 minute rant is with college football in general. I mean, I just think from the playoff system to the transfer portal, this is it's just some of this stuff is just terrible. Like the dude from Duke had a great freaking season, and he's transferring out before the bowl game. It's like this is crazy. I mean, I've never seen anything like this, man. You know what I'm saying? How you take your team 9-3 and all of a sudden you're gone? You know. Now the Texas quarterback. They're talking about him getting a deal next year because he's not going to be starting over Arch Manning. And just like the whole playoff system, man. To me, it's just a little crazy. It's just a little crazy. That's my rant. And the thing about one other thing was how Travis Hunter, I think he was the defensive player of the year, but he didn't win he wasn't even a finalist in the Thorpe Award, which is the top DB in the country, which is crazy. That's nuts. The AP player of the year, but not a finalist in the position that he played. Please,
We
somebody
don't know
explain
what
that to
position
me.
he gonna play.
Yeah, that was probably more of them being upset with Dion than anything else.
So they want to get it. But great point, Johnson, because college football right now is Wild Wild West, and that's the reason why we're doing this show, because we want people to get into it and understand. And my 1 minute rant this week is really just being grateful for the blessings that's been bestowed upon me this week. I had an opportunity to go to Tampa and work with my uncle the whole week, and getting outside the house, and it's some hard work. Coach Mike, hard work. They call my uncle Pharaoh because he don't know when to let his people go. So we be putting in some hours. So he got this one guy up there, man, and I'm just super, like it gets me super motivated seeing a 70-year-old dude. Mike, we call his name Mike too, but we call him Slip and Slide. Cause my dog ain't he gonna stay on turtle speed. But he's 70 years old and he's on turtle speed and he don't stop. And it's like, that's how I want to be at 70 years old, going to get that money. You know what I'm saying? Putting my boots on the ground. Cause I learned something about myself. I like hard work, man. It just feels different when you come home. You can go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? You can kick your boots off and feel like you're the man of the house when you get that hard walk in. How Coach Mike said. But, that's my 1 minute rant, man. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity. And then also, and I'm like Johnson, I got to add a little 2 cents. We got the Beyond the Field young ladies that's in flag football. And them girls showing up, man. They showing up to get that walk. And it be real hot on that turf. But if you got any young ladies in high school or middle school that want to come out and be a part of women's flag football, it's a travel league. DM me. The director of it is Sierra Jordan. She's a quarterback for the Florida Legacy football team, and it's a great experience right now. And it's gonna be rough because I don't know how I get myself in some of this stuff, but we'll figure it out. But that's my 1 minute rant. It was probably a little longer than 1 minute rant, but we'll keep it going. We got this topic, and it can mean so many different things, from being free financially, being free mentally, being free spiritually, and it's so many different avenues that you can take this. But when I hear freedom, it's me being able to do what I want to do without harming anybody in, my space in my world. That's what freedom means to me. And it comes with a lot of different things, from being mentally free, because you can have all the money in the world and then still be mentally stressed because your job might pay you a lot of money, but at the same time, you're not able to move around, be with your family. You know, you're missing events. So financially freedom, mentally freedom, you know, that's something that's very important to me because, you know, stress is everywhere. And I want to be free of it all. I just want to have fun, kick it with the guys, go watch some football there once in a while, and just be a normal guy, man, and just not have to worry about these taxing bills every week, every month, you know, but we'll get that taken care of. So I'm gonna let somebody else talk. Coach Mike, freedom. What freedom means to you?
Freedom, man, I sum it up in one sentence, and it's by the Hall of Famer Adrian James. Create the life that you want to live. You know,
Mm,
that's what freedom means to me, man. Like, you know, you're living by your rules and you creating a life or a lifestyle that you want to live. And also you're not harming nobody with it. You know, so that's what freedom means to me.
most up. Jason, what you got?
Man, dude. So when I hear freedom, I hear a lot of different things, man. I hear financial freedom, freedom to do anything that you want, but I hear freedom to grow, freedom to dream, um, freedom to reach the goals and dreams that you want for your family, with relationships, and that's going to include a bunch of things. That's going to include money, because money's going to help you to do whatever you want whenever you feel like doing it, but then also to help other people. Freedom to love and freedom to actually grow and really have that dream life, because I think that freedom also means boundaries too. And how do we fit into those boundaries? And I think freedom also means to be flexible and fluid, and that's growth. I mean, all of us here are on this pod to help other people, but for us to help other people, we're also growing too.
What's that?
So so we're able to drop our pride, because if we keep that pride up, that'll actually keep you from growing and then having freedom. And then what you had wanted to actually be free, then you'll be experiencing the boundaries and those consequences of those freedoms. Whether, like, if you're driving and the speed limit says 75 and you going 100, but you can go that fast.
Yeah.
But then when you get pulled over, then you got that ticket. If you're over at a bar, you can go drink because you're 21. But then if you drunk and you driving and you get pulled over, now you're dealing with those consequences, because you're not fully really in line with your boundaries. And I'm really sorry, because I'm gonna go over one sec, but I want to share something with you guys that from the time I was 17 till now, this meant different things in my life. My dad, I came home one night and I had done something and he needed to actually speak on it. So when we were finished, he said, "Look, man," he said, "you're doing well in school." He said, "You make good choices." He said, "You don't have any curfew anymore." He said, "You can come and go as you want to." He said, "But I know that you know what your boundaries are." That's all he said. And that stuck with me for the rest of my like, man, I can see that whole convo right there. And I did know what my boundaries were. With them too, I knew my parents' boundaries. I knew exactly when they said something, I knew what they meant. Yo, did we lose you fellas?
No, you good.
Oh, all right. Because the
I'm
camera changed up.
just working, man. Keep working.
Oh, all right. But with that being said, I think
Great.
when we move within those boundaries, then we can keep on achieving more freedom, more freedom, more freedom. Because to me, I was like, all right, I want this freedom. I don't have any curfew. I can come and go as I choose to. But how did I treat it? I actually respected it. Now I can come and go. I didn't have to tell them where I was going, but I was 17 and I had a car. I drove out of that driveway. I rode up to the top of the street. I could go left or right. They didn't know where I was going. They never asked this. I used to call them, tell them where I was at. Hey, I'm here. I'm gonna be home at this time. I could be home at 2, 3 a.m. But I would always tell them. They never asked me that, but I figured just out of courtesy. And that allowed me to do a lot, man. So when he told me no, I was like, all right, cool, fine. And I didn't do it. I didn't push it because I knew everything else that I had. And I think that helped me throughout life is because I don't think that we have to learn everything in trial and error. But so I do think that freedom comes with growth and dreaming, but also boundaries too.
Most definitely. Now, Johnson, what we got? Which is take on way.
I mean, my take on freedom is a little bit more complex. The thing about it is, all right, you ever heard this saying that you can look at life as a comedy and you can look life as a tragedy? And I think sometimes with the word freedom, it's a trap because you can be free, but a lot of times, I mean, most people are most people tend to take the path of least resistance, you know. And a lot of times, if when you are that free, you're going to rob, I guess, the world of your purpose. Or you rob yourself of your purpose because if you're taking the path of least resistance, because the thing about it is a lot of people associate free with ease, and sometimes with that ease, you become undisciplined and you don't live what your purpose is. So depending on how you look at it, there could be a very big cost of freedom. You know, you know, the thing I was thinking about, besides restrictions of going outside, some of the freest people are prisoners right now. They're free from bills.
Hey,
Free from
listen,
responsibility.
we finna talk about that right now.
I don't want that type of freedom.
Listen,
Right, but that's
listen,
the
Give me all the bills.
logically, you are
it's
correct.
freedom.
Logically, you are correct. Because for those 5 years that I was incarcerated, yes, I didn't have to worry about bills, but I also had to worry about Billy Bob rolling up on me. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? You feel what I'm talking about? Not being able to cuddle up because I ain't trying to cuddle up
right.
with Biscuit over there. You feel me? So I get that part of freedom, but hey, listen, I don't want that freedom no more
Yeah, but
because
that's what I was saying. That's why I was saying like the whole thing is depending on how you look at life.
yeah,
Life can be a comedy or it can be a tragedy,
most of
depending on
mine
how
was a
you look at it.
tragedy.
Right,
Tragedy.
right, right. For instance, some people, um, you know, there's a big cost of freedom. You know what I'm saying? There's a big cost of freedom because they're not in their purpose. They're not just, they're not, you know, um, being productive. You know what I'm saying? Because we associate freedom with ease. It's like when you have money, you can buy a maid to make your bed and to clean your house. You know what I'm saying? You can do these type of things. You can get a chauffeur and stuff like that. It makes it easy. But now the thing about it is especially if you get money. Like let's just say you get money at a very early age, right? Like some of these NIL dudes. You know, think about the Arrested Development, man. Think about those guys that are getting, $1 million like out of college and stuff like that in 4 years, and they become 4 years old, and they can't play in the NFL anymore, and they haven't picked up a lot of those life skills because they've had all that money and all that privilege. Some of them can't handle it. You know what
And
I'm
that's
saying?
the, and that's the reason behind the show because understanding these guys are going to get those big contract deals and understanding what it means to them because a lot of these kids, speaking for myself, coming from where I'm coming from, was I'm just trying to get my people out of the situation that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? That I was in, and when you have a means a goal, you still got to understand what comes with that, the sacrifices, the training that goes into this. These guys. So let's talk about Travis Hunter, for instance. He is one of the highest paid NIL deal, college players, so right now. So being in a space where you're the highest paid, think about the work, the walk he puts in. You feel me? Like this kid said he doesn't hang out. This kid says he trains his body, and that's the sacrifice that he has to make for himself to become free. And is that easy? No way in the world that's easy. Because of the simple fact is you are sitting up there, sleepless nights, early mornings, while everybody else sleep, you grinding. You feel what I'm talking about? Because you're chasing your freedom, and how Coach Mike Edgerrin said, create the life you want to live. But the life you want to live, it's a process to get there. And with beyond the field, understanding, we're educating you on different components of being a successful sports player, you know what I'm saying, in this new and day and age, because you got this money flowing. And then Coach Mike, you sent me a clip of the Michigan, the guy who was talking about college football teams college teams are going to be sold like professional teams. And that's what the future is. Yeah, and that's where the future is going, man. And we got to understand that, like, it's not going to change because we cry and complain. You got to get with it or you're going to get lost. Point, period, blank.
Yeah, you see, Andrew, you talk about this all the time. I've heard you talk about this when you became a desperado, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does that financial freedom lead you to?
Man, listen, my financial freedom was a lot different. So, great question. My financial freedom brought me stuff that, I never had, and I was acting like I never had it. I didn't have. So let's talk about what I didn't have. I didn't have financial management. So I was getting paid on Wednesday and I was broke on Friday. Like, and I was in places where we'll say the Raise Boom Boom Room, and I go and Raise Boom Boom Room, and I'm coming out Raise Boom Boom Room broke every week, faithfully. And that was a very tough lesson for me, because of the simple fact that all my guys around me got money and I'm broke. And every Friday I'm waiting on away game because we got per diem, so that'll put a little extra money in my pocket. So, but I grind to get there, but I was missing the components of understanding how to manage money. And it cost me a lot, because then I started indulging in stuff that I had no business, that ended up giving me 5 years in prison. Because if I was making the money I'm making now, doing what I'm doing now with what I know now, man, ain't no way in the world I'm selling no drugs. But, at that time, money was coming in and it was going out quick. And that's how we would get it. But that's a great question, man, Johnson.
But think about this statistic. 90, and I think it's over like 90-some% of the people that win the lottery that get this financial freedom go broke.
Yeah. And
Well, I think that's because it's because they're not, and even with the players, the reason people are going broke is the financial literacy. If you've never had money and then you come into a lump sum of money, you trying to live like the rappers or how they be living on TV, and that's false. When I graduated high school and I left my grandmother's house, and I thank her for everything, but we used to eat leftovers a lot. So when I left, I had a non-negotiable. I'm going to get up and do whatever I got to do so I don't have to eat no leftovers. I'm only gonna eat leftovers if I want to, if I choose to. Freedom. Freedom. I was 18 years old when I made that decision. I'm 44 now. I do not eat leftovers. Once it hit the refrigerator, if it ain't barbecue or barbecue. Other than that, I do not mess with the leftovers. I need something new the next day. I need it heated up, from the start. But that was my non-negotiable, and that was my freedom at 18. And it motivated me to get up when I didn't want to go to work and I didn't want to do this. And I think I'm gonna go do no. Remember them leftovers? You gonna be back in South Georgia eating leftovers.
You remember those possums and squirrels and raccoons?
Hey,
Man, I remember every last one of them, man. We used to shoot the possums, man. Squirrels, oh, you can go up that tree. Don't worry, we finna bring you back down, homeboy.
Hey, I knew
You gonna skin them?
Jason, go ahead, man. I knew Johnson would go ahead.
Yo, do they eat trash and all that kind of stuff, man? Squirrels seem like they just be eating everything. So
Nah. See, them the city squirrels, man. See, the country squirrels, they gonna go get them nuts, man. See, them possums and raccoons out in the country, they gonna ain't eating the good stuff. Y'all be seeing the city ones, they ain't no good. They just eating trash.
You eating the trash.
I am sure.
Yeah, so you got two times around, man. The country, just like the dog. And we're gonna let the dog loose, let him run, man, so he can be healthy. Somebody come up in the yard, hey, that's your protector right there. But the city dogs, y'all keep them in the house all bottled up, man.
So then that's kind of like eating pigeons or something, because they got the city birds that are nasty, they in the trash and all that stuff, right? And then you got
right there you go,
like that, man. That's just like a pigeon to me. But
we good, baby Mike Tyson. We ain't trying to eat no pigeon.
Yeah. So, when I'm like hearing this, man, I'm like thinking about getting out of your comfort zone, and that's really what like freedom is. And what we're also talking about, I think, is living in the moment and then in the future too, because I think that our life creates little moments when we can step outside of our comfort zone and do things that we're not comfortable doing, be in that moment, but then still look forward. And how do you do that? I think that's like a daily battle, a daily grind, but also comes with daily victories too at those moments as well. So like this also makes me think about, is there a goal that, or people think about freedom, do you actually reach it and then you just stop? And while we were sitting here talking, and Triple Black was actually sharing his, it made me think about Frederick Douglass wanted to be free and what he did to actually get free. He on his second try, he got out. And when he got up to New York, he lived in it for a short time. And he said right after that, it was like he was back on his grind to actually really be free, because once he reached New York, there were actually other hurdles and there were other struggles that actually could have landed him right back down in the South, into that deep South. So I think that when we're in the moment, but at the same time have that vision moving forward, but it just really has to be constant. And the last thing I want to say is just constant gratitude and just being thankful. And at the same time, betting on ourselves too, that when we see other people's lives, that's not just for them, that it's also for us too. And really defining, what is that life? Is that life just money? Or is that, if you have your spouse, do you want to really love your spouse how they want to be loved? Do you want to be in bliss? If it's a relationship with your kids, what do you want that to actually look like? And in most cases, it's going to be getting out of our comfort zones and doing stuff that may not have been done with us, and just really making that dream life. That's really a big element of freedom.
Okay. And I feel like when you're an athlete and you're coming up in this new wave, you really have to set aside your goals, and it's going to be hard no matter what. It's gonna be hard not doing nothing, and you call yourself an athlete, because all players know, Johnson, you know this. If you trash, you're gonna be on the sideline, and that's hard. You feel me? Or you can work at it, get better, day in, day out. So now when you own that field, your freedom might be in understanding that, man, I wanted people to see the hard work that I put in and how it transitioned to the court, the field, or whatever. That might be a mental part of freedom for you. And it only comes with work. And we are in the process of creating a mentorship program through Beyond the Field. And we want to get some people that's interested, that have some young men, some young women, because we do have a woman staff member that is really serious about bettering their life and becoming financially free and understanding how to work this NIL system. So if you're interested in, any of this information and taking on, mentors, and we're gonna all mentor you all together because we all have different components. Make sure you DM us DM us, and we'll get back to you ASAP. You leave your name and your email. We'll get back to you ASAP, because this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to grow, and we're trying to put this information out into many hands as possible. So, Johnson, we've been on this road, and we've understood how, if we would have stayed consistent with the podcast, because people don't know this, and you got to give flowers when flowers down. Johnson Marseille was the first podcaster in Southwest Florida. Like all the other dudes, no. Johnson was the first podcaster in Southwest Florida, and with no cupcakes on. And that was something, and this is how funny. Let's go back to earlier in the conversation when Jason said the key component, who hooked him up with us? The Diesel Taylor. Ask Johnson who hooked me up with him. The Diesel
Travis Taylor. Yeah, Travis the Diesel Taylor.
And we've been in this social media space and understanding where it's going. They just said they are paying content creators $51 billion. And if you are really serious about changing your life and understanding where you can go in this process and in this space, and you ready to put in some work, DM us. I ain't gonna lie to you, you gotta DM us, because we can only help who want to be helped. So, Coach Mike, we had a very interesting week with some of the conversations we had. But now, your situation, and we're going to keep it kind of on the side, but your name, image, and likeness got you in doors that you had never thought you would be able to get into, and got you calls this week that, you wasn't looking for.
Right, and so go ahead. And I think I'm gonna touch on it a little bit. We're gonna start teaching about zones of life, and I believe it's 4 zones of life. It's the zone of inefficiency, the zone of efficiency, the zone of execution, and the zone of gifts. And I've been operating in my gift for probably about 15, 20 years now. But what happens is when your zone of execution and your zone of gift, when they start merging together, then you start getting things that you didn't think that will be possible for you, or things that you weren't even thinking about, opportunities that you were not even thinking about. that you just going by your daily routine of life, and then you get certain phone calls, you get certain knocks at the door, you know. So I believe those are in our zones of execution and our zone of the gifts. And so I'm thankful for everything that's going on. I'm I'm enjoying, you know, what's happening right now in my life because it's beyond the field.
Best believe it. And that's how it works, man. And Jason, you were trying to take us out on the boat, and it was a little nip nip. And the way us down south people do it, that thing go to cutting a little much to the left. We ain't gonna make it. So, but I want you to talk about, you know, mentally, what did getting on that boat for you do? Because that's what we got to make sure we talk about, the mental space, because you grind. Like, you got that, you be putting that earpiece in your ear, walking around, you know what I'm saying, talking to everybody, having phone conversations 24/7. So, you know, how do you sit up and take, you know, the time out for yourself, and how important is that? Because you know, and I know, everybody needs that restart.
Yeah.
That restart.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So with the whole boating piece, man, one of my friends had, you know, I had went out on the boat with him. He just rents it and he was riding me in around, and I'm looking at that water. I'm like, man, but it's something that I never really thought about outside of fishing, because every time I'd be, well, you fish and you go on the boat and you catch the fish and you bring them home. This is a day of just relaxing, but it's something different here because while I'm out there, you don't see many brothers. I might see one, maybe two, but I'm seeing why there's so many people out on their boats and they're riding around, because it's just relaxing. And to me, it's something that I gift myself with the hard work that I put in. So while I'm out there riding, I'm actually looking at that water and I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be out there. And I'm thankful for stewarding what has been given to me, to have that chance to actually be out there, then also to expose other people to it, because I don't think we should be siloed or like stuck into one pieces of life. I mean, I think we should be experiencing everything. So that's actually
You know how us black
one of,
people in
one of
water
those things there.
You know, you know how us black people in water is, though. You know what I'm saying? I can swim. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but they have life jackets, or we
Yeah.
could actually get you the little ring that like goes around you. You can just ride with it on you.
You think you can
It
get your
has a little rope to it, just in case you fall over, we can pull you in.
you think you get your auntie out there, knowing she's not going out there, and you talking about a life jacket. Man, ain't nobody care about no life jacket. We not going. But nah, I'm cool with going out on the
And
boat. Really don't.
if we end up going out there, we're gonna have to film because you brothers are gonna love it.
Oh yeah, I do. I have some.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I just want to wrap on something that Mike was actually talking about, because I think we're in our session last week. Mike mentioned his last name, how that was really important to him with his family, and I think as we talk further about these NIL deals, it really goes back to always, who are you, not just what is the image, because that that little image is like just a clip, man. There's people on, social media taking pictures with their family and they're kissing and stuff. And then once that picture's taken, man, they yelling at each other or cursing each other out and stuff. Is that really you? Who do you want to be?
Yeah.
What is your perspective on life? And are you fluid? Are you willing to learn new things? Are you willing to step into other, areas? Do you have too much pride, or are you humble? What does that mean? Does that mean that if you're humble that you don't have drive and that you don't have grit? No, it means that you're going to really go after who you want to be, and why are you doing what you want to do? What is that why? So I think that we're going to keep on going back to that name, image, likeness, and what does that really mean?
Because we got to hit all the components. Johnson, let me ask you a question, Johnson. Because you just in space right now. He having a whole nother conversation, so you know what we just gonna put him on solo, so everybody can see Johnson in the middle of the show, just walking around. You feel what I'm saying?
I was trying to find a charger.
Because he ain't charge his phone up, but you know we gonna make sure we put him on because he in his big dog couch, love boy. So Johnson, you know, and we gonna get ready to wrap this thing up. How important is branding yourself on social
media? It's essential. I mean, it's essential. I mean, it's pretty much everything. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a brand, I mean, the thing about it too is just like you can be as talented as whoever, but if you don't have some type of branding, some type of slogan, some type of logo, some type of event that somebody can distinct. I mean, like, because there's a lot of people that can sing, but there's only one Luther Vandross. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that can sing, but there's only one Barry White. You know what I'm saying? And there's something about his brand, you know, that stands out. And if you don't have that, you know, there's a ton of track stars, but there's Sha'Carri Richardson. You know what I'm saying? There's a ton of them, but you know, there's something distinct about her. You know, like just like Usain Bolt, there's something distinct about them. So you have to have some type of brand.
most stuff. So, and that's where social media come in at and building the brand. Coach Mike, we need that word of wisdom.
Yes, sir. All right, so this week I got an opportunity to spend 5 days with a doctor in education. And she told me, she said, hey, you know what, you got to change your mindset. You know, she said, most people have $1 million gift, but they don't have a millionaire mindset. And I said, elaborate on it. And she said, I'm going to give you, she gave me 4 or 5 steps, right? I'm only going to share one today. And the number one was focus. She said, focus. She said, God gave you a gift, and your gift is designed for one problem. And if you put all your energy and focus into solving that one problem, because there's millions of people that are dealing with that one problem that your gift can solve, then you will become a millionaire. And that's having a millionaire mindset. And so that's our word for the day.
That's our word for the day. So understanding we're here beyond the field, and our focus lasered in right now is helping as many people as possible. We thank you guys for tuning in with us once again. Second show in the books. We getting better. You feel what I'm saying? We got a little camera technical difficulties. We got Johnson walking up, got to get a charger. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like me and Jason the only one on his joint. But we're going to be back in the building next week with some fire. I got a couple guests coming on. Right now, I do have my brother up in Milwaukee that's coaching basketball. Got his first opportunity to show what he can do, and he's showing them what he can do. So we're going to bring him on, and then we're going to try to get some young athletes on, but we don't want to say their name yet until we get that thing solidified. So if you haven't, like, follow, subscribe, be on the field. Big Dreams Production. We out.
All right, y'all. Peace.